Happy Monday. I hope you guys are having a beautiful start to your week. I'm going to try to keep this one relatively short because when I don't, Facebook tends to turn my video off. But if I am in the middle of it and the video cuts off, just know I will always restart it and finish up. But that has been happening a lot lately. So we'll see. But it's so funny. I usually pick these topics like well in advance, at least a few weeks. And of course, as it always happens so beautifully, I was talking to my value-centered sales mastermind about almost this exact same topic this morning. So I love it when that happens because I feel like it's such a confirmation that like you're on the right track. People need to hear this. So let's let the people hear this and let's talk about the three most important questions you can ask yourself are to make more money this week. So I think this is going to seriously blow your mind. This is definitely something I work with a lot of my clients on. Like I said, I was talking to my sales mastermind about it this morning. And it's the idea that if you're looking at your business from the right frame and asking the right questions, you can literally make more money this week. If you look at your business in a different way, if you ask different questions, you will get different results, right? And I think that's so undervalued in the sense that, I think a lot of times we want to keep looking at things the same way and through the same lens and expecting a different result. And I certainly believe you have to stick to the same strategy for, I always say at least 90 days to get different results, but I think you can change your mindset and can change the questions you're asking, and you can change how you're showing up for that strategy within that time frame, and that's what these questions are going to help you do. So what are the questions? Let me tell you. Okay, so the first question, I'm going to go through the three, but I'm going to go through it one by one because I really want you to understand why this matters, right? So the first question is, what would the CEO version of me do today? What would the CEO version of me do today? And that can sound so simple, but I promise you're probably not asking yourself this question. And if you are, it's very like fleeting, right? It's like, oh, I should be the CEO today. But it's like not from this like real place of like, what would the CEO version of Lacey do today? Because 9 times out of 10, we're not showing up as the CEO version of ourselves if we're not making the amount of money that we want to make. Or quite frankly, even if we are and it's time to go to the next level, like that is always the thing, is like, am I showing up as the CEO version of myself, right? And if you're like, well, is my shirt cute, by the way? It's from Target. Use your power to empower. Really into it. But if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't even know the answer to that question, like what would the CEO version of me do today? Good. That means you know what you have to work on. Does that make sense? If you're listening, say hi. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. But seriously, what would the CEO version of me do today? So let me give you some examples of this answer, right? The CEO version of me today would probably delegate more than the me just trying to get shit done version. The CEO version of me would probably take time to look at things from a bigger picture. The CEO version of me would set boundaries. The CEO version of me would keep to my schedule and keep to my calendar and keep to my timelines. The CEO version of me would say no to stuff that wastes my time. I could go on and on, right? But 9 times out of 10, we are not making the conscious effort to show up for that. Does anybody agree with me? If you're here, say hi, give me an emoji, right? We are not usually thinking from that perspective of like, what would the CEO version of me do today? And if you think from that perspective and you ask yourself that every day, you're going to make more money really quickly because you're going to be thinking of your business from a higher level instead of that day-to-day reactive level of like, how do I feel? What do I feel like I want to do today? What do I like have to reactively get done? Like that's not how CEOs are thinking, right? And if you want to run a business that makes money regularly, you have to, hey Katal, you have to be thinking about it from that place, right? If you want to make more money this week, you're not going to do it from being the worker bee in your business. You're going to do it by thinking as a CEO. Does that make sense? Is anybody watching and like, yeah, I just don't know what that even means for me. I don't know how to be the CEO in my business. If you are, what I would say to you is that's good information, because you now know where your work needs to focus. You now know that figuring out what the CEO version of me even does in my business is really, really important to my overall and ultimate success. And the fact that I don't know what that is a problem, right? And it's not like you have to go like lose your mind and be like, oh my God, this is such a problem in my business. But it is something to look at. If I don't actually know how to show up as the CEO today, I have a gap in my business. Does that make sense? If you're watching, give me a little hi or something that tells you that that makes sense, or that tells me that that makes sense while I take a sip of water. Okay, beautiful. So first question, what would the CEO version of me do today? Secondary piece of that, if you don't know, you got to know, right? If you're not sure, that's something you absolutely have to figure out. Cool? Okay, second question, what does my business need today? This is really important, you guys. What does my business need today? Which, by the way, is very different from what does Lacey need today, right? So often what we do is that we enmesh ourselves so much with our business. And listen, you are the business, right? You're the most important asset. You got to take care of yourself. I don't want to negate any of that, but if we're talking about how do I make more money this week, it's separating that. It's knowing what your business needs this week, right? Because 9 times out of 10, we're looking at it like, well, Lacey's tired and doesn't want to show up on live stream, or Lacey's feeling insecure and doesn't want to promote her offer again, or Lacey gets nervous when whatever, she looks at email open rates, or like I could go on and on, right? But what Lacey needs and what the business needs are sometimes different. And so, yes, I have to meet my own needs, but I have to know what the business needs to be successful. So I'm going to give you some like sales examples, right? If you're like in a launch or trying to sell a program right now or trying to make more money this week, right? What does my business need to make more money this week? It probably needs me to promote more. It needs me to offer calls more. It needs me to get my message out there more. It needs me to be on live stream all the time. It needs me to send that third email, even if it's uncomfortable. It needs me to get out there again. It needs me to follow up with that person. It needs me to reach back out to those people, right? Like, it's very simple when you look at it through that frame, what your business needs. So if you're watching now, or if you're watching the replay, I want you to literally answer this for me. What does your business need from you this week? Does it need you to do more follow-ups? Does it need you to make more offers? Does it need you to put out more opportunities to get on the phone with you? Like, tell me now. Make this commitment to yourself. If you don't know, tell me that too, and we can figure it out. But if you're watching now or the replay, tell me, what does my business need this week? Right? Now, the thing that's hard about that is a lot of times that feels in contradiction to what we like want to do. Like, what my business needs is for me to go follow up with all those 10 people that, like I've talked to over the last month or two. I may not want to do that. Like, I might find discomfort in that. I might feel very uncomfortable following up. But what does my business need this week? Because if I look at it through that lens, it's so much easier to know how to make more money, to know how to move forward, and to not feel that stuckness. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that it's so easy for us to feel stuckness around this. Like, how do I want to say it? I don't know what to do to make more sales. It's not that you really don't know what to do to make more sales. You are uncomfortable doing the things you need to do to make more sales, like posting your offer for the 4th time or reaching out to people for the 3rd time. Does that make sense? So a lot of times we will know what our business needs, and we're misconstruing that and getting that in the way of like, what do I feel really comfortable doing, right? And if you can ask yourself the question, what does my business need this week? And then actually show up for that thing and kind of like manage your own stuff enough to show up for it, game changer. You're going to make more money this week, right? If you're like, well, I can't show up for follow-ups until I feel more comfortable with follow-ups, and so like I'm probably not going to do that, well, you're probably not going to make more money this week, Simple as that, right? I said to my mastermind this morning that there have been plenty of times in my business where I have like made my business like the tool to comfort myself. Like, I'm not going to do that because it feels uncomfortable. I'm going to do this because it's going to make me feel more comfortable, or I'm going to stop posting that offer because I'll feel safer if I don't, right? I've never gotten results that way. I've never made more sales that way. And listen, I'm certainly an advocate for do things in general in your business that feel pretty good, but that doesn't mean they don't stretch you. It will feel really good for you to do those follow-ups and then get sales from that. Macro, that will feel really, really good. Micro, it might be uncomfortable to do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's the whole thing. Excuse me. But macro, it is going to feel better if you really show up for what your business needs this week. If you ask yourself how to be the CEO this week, if you ask yourself what your business needs this week, you are going to put your head on your pillow going, I feel really fucking good because I pushed my comfort zone. I didn't use my business as a tool to make me feel more comfortable. I got out of my own way and I got results because of it. And the way to do that is to know what your business needs this week. So again, if you're watching, tell me in the comments, what does your business need this week from you? What does your business need from you? And I said to my mastermind this morning as well, like, we all have done this for jobs. Like, right, if I had gone to, so in the nonprofit world, they did like a ton of fundraising. Like if I had gone in there and been like, you know what? I'm feeling a little less than confident today and I'm like not feeling totally in my power. So I actually don't want to do follow-ups on fundraising today. They would have been like, go home and get your shit together and come back tomorrow ready to like do your job, right? And listen, I'm not saying that's great. I'm not saying that we're trying to set up the same system in our business of like your needs don't matter. But what I am saying is that there's this way that we would show up for other jobs that we don't show up for our own business sometimes because we don't see it as separate from ourselves. We see our needs as like completely and totally intertwined in the business. Does that make sense? And so it's like, I need the business to make me feel comfortable, make me feel good. I need to not do things that stretch myself. And it's the opposite, right? It's like, I need to do things that make me feel comfortable, make me feel good outside so that when I come into the business, I can do what the business needs me to do, right? And when you take that mentality, it kind of takes away all the bullshit. Like for me, when I'm like, what do I need to do this week? I feel totally different about making that list than I'm like, what does my business need me to do this week? Those are different lists, right? And I feel different levels of comfort with each one. But when I make the, what does my business need me to do this week list, it's so clear how to make more money. When I make the, what does Lacey think she needs to do this week list, it's like, well, you know, like maybe I could follow up. No, my business needs me to follow up. So this is a call to say, like, don't use your business as your comfort blanket. Don't use it as the thing to kind of like, you know, like make you feel better, right? Like, it's not that it's not going to fulfill you or give to you or whatever, but it's micro versus macro again, right? Like micro, it's going to feel uncomfortable to do follow-ups this week. Macro, when you put your head on the pillow and know you did what your business needs you to do that week, you're going to feel entirely different and it's going to be so much more clear, right? Does that make sense? Let me know if you're watching, if that makes sense, if this is feeling good. And then I'm going to tell you the last question, which is such a good one and kind of to the point we're already making, but so important is, would this problem be different if I already felt good or if I already felt enough, or insert whatever word is there for you. I'll insert the word control there sometimes because I'm a little bit of a control freak. So would this problem be different if I already felt in control? Would this problem be different if I already felt good? Would this problem be different if I already felt enough? The reason that is so important as a question you can ask yourself to make more money is because, again, 9 times out of 10, we're running our business off our own feelings and emotions, right? Instead of separately managing our own feelings and emotions so we can execute on a great strategy in our business, right? That's why I always talk about mindset, strategy, and execution. That's why it's the framework I use with everything, because if you're trying to manage your emotions and mindset through your strategy, through your execution, you're not going to choose the right strategy, and you're not going to make the right moves, right? If you can see separately, I have to manage whatever, my not feeling good enough, my not feeling good, my not feeling in control. And then I have to solve this problem. It all gets easier. So a lot of times, like, I'll just give the example of like not wanting to share your offer a lot. And that's something that comes up with almost every client I've ever worked with, right? We have this thing about like not wanting to seem like we're selling. And, the truth of the matter is the way you make more sales is to sell more, right? And so we have to go, well, if I already felt good enough, would it actually be a problem to sell more? If I already felt successful, would it actually be a problem to sell more? If I already felt amazing, would I actually feel bad about selling more? If the answer is no, then it's time to go do those things for yourself, right? If the answer is no, I would not feel bad about selling if I already felt successful, then you have to buckle down and do the mindset work to feel successful now so that you can go sell, because that's what your business needs, right? And that will change the game for how you show up on a week-to-week basis. If you're asking yourself what the CEO version of yourself would do, if you're asking what your business needs, and if you're going, would this be different if I felt enough? Would this be different if I felt good? Would this be different if whatever? Insert your thing. You will be able to see so clearly how you actually want to and need to and strategically desire to show up in your business. If you add in all the minutia of like, but I don't feel enough, but I don't feel good enough, but I don't feel successful enough, but I don't feel in control, but I don't feel whatever, you're always going to make a business decision to create a feeling or to moderate a feeling or to make yourself not feel bad instead of make a strategic move because it's the right move for your business. Does that make sense? If you're listening, let me know if that makes sense. This is like the weirdest live stream ever because I feel like I haven't gotten a single comment, which is very odd because you guys usually like to talk to me. So somebody please talk to me so I don't start getting a complex, right? But here's the thing, I'm going to even use this as an example. Next week, I could be like, I had the weirdest experience last week. Like, nobody talked to me on my live stream, which hasn't happened in like God knows how long. I don't even know, probably never, maybe. And so I can't really do it again this week because that felt uncomfortable. No. Would it be different if I felt enough? Yes, I would just get on live stream again next week. Like, that's the thing, right? But it's like, if not, if I'm like, something has changed in my business and now people don't talk to me, of course I'm not gonna fucking get on live stream next week. You know what I mean? Like, this is the stuff that Sarah, thank you for talking to me, Sarah Cornblood. I love you. This is the stuff that makes a difference in our business though. Do you see how fast that can happen? Like, I'm just using this as an example. This was unplanned, but like, let's roll with it, right? Which is like, then I'm making a decision to avoid an emotion. So what's the emotion? I feel discomfort when I get on live and nobody talks to me. Okay. What does my business need me to do? My business needs me to fucking get on live next week. Cool. Would I feel different if I felt enough? Yes, I would just get on live again next week, right? And so this is the stuff that can make moving through the strategy and execution in your business so much easier. And it's the stuff that can impact your bottom line like this week, because you'll do the stuff that you have been telling yourself you can't or shouldn't do because it would create an uncomfortable emotion, right? So I can't follow up. I can't post that offer again. I can't put myself out there in this way. I can't whatever because XYZ. Like, people will think this or I'll feel this, right? And ultimately, at the end of the day, most of us are running our businesses to avoid emotion, right? I mean, it's just the truth. I hate to say it. Hi. Thank you, Nana. I appreciate it. I mean, I just feel so much better now, you guys. Sarah said, gotta be your own boss. Exactly. And I think this is true. Like, in corporate, that does not fly. Like, I can't be like, hey, boss, so I'm really uncomfortable being on video. He'd be like, okay, nobody cares. You have to do a video. You know what I mean? And so in a way, like, yes, we don't want to be nasty bosses to ourselves, but in another way, we really let ourselves off the hook so often for our own emotions. And then you guys, here's what happens. Then we chase a bunch of other strategies looking for the one that doesn't make us feel discomfort. We chase a ton of other things going, where's the thing that makes me feel enough? Where's the thing that makes me feel comfortable? Where's the thing that meets all my emotional needs in the business? And that's how we spend weeks, months, years not moving forward, not making more money, not creating more success in our business, because we're trying to fill emotional voids and because we're not treating our business like a fucking business, right? It's that simple. That simple. Okay, so I'm going to go through the questions one more time because I think it's really important. So question number 1, what would the CEO version of me do today? Most of us are not showing up and operating as the CEOs of our business. Most of us are showing up and operating as like the worker bees, right? And we're thinking from that level, right? Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you got to be the worker bee in your business. Sometimes you got to like get shit done and like, empty the trash and be the trash guy in your business, right? Whatever it is. But most of us are not taking a step back and taking that high level view. If you did that for 5 minutes today and tomorrow and the next day and said, what would the CEO version of myself do today? You'll be fucking amazed at the answers and how different they are than what you have on your like to-do list. Because sometimes we're running a to-do list, we're not running a business. Those are very different things. A lot of my clients come to me and they're running a to-do list. They just like have things that they have to do and do every day and da-da-da. And they're like not at all thinking about it as a business. Can I get an amen? Like if you have done that, I've done that all the time, drop me an emoji. I have a to-do list that I keep every day, but like this is not my business. You know what I mean? Like this is not the thing. I'm running a business, right? And I have to think about it from that CEO level. And what I said earlier is if you don't know what the CEO version of you would do today, it's time to start thinking about it because you ain't getting to the next level of success not thinking like a CEO, right? Next question is, what does my business need today? Which again, is usually different than what Lacey needs today. Today, Lacey needed a nap and my business needed me to do 2 sales calls. Luckily, we made both of those things happen. But they are different. They're very different most days, right? So if you can be meeting your own needs and your business's needs, that's when you're going to win. When you're trying to see them as the same thing, you're going to feel frustrated all the time. You need to know practically what does your business need from you today. Just like when you had that corporate job, you went in and you knew what you needed to do that day and what the business needed from you to move forward. If you just got to randomly pick, it probably wouldn't have been the shit that needed to get done, quite honestly, or the things that needed to happen to move the needle forward, right? And what I had said is, if you're watching, I want you to tell me, what does your business need from you this week? Like, I think that's such a powerful thing to be able to make that comment, put that out there, put that in writing. Because again, so often we're scared to do that because probably what your business needs from you is to like make more offers, do more follow-ups, put out more, get yourself more visible. I was going to say put out more visibility strategy, but that didn't make any sense. Get yourself more visible, right? And those are the things that are uncomfortable. So sometimes we don't want to admit that. But that's what you got to know. What does your business need from you this week? Again, from a zoomed out perspective, not what do you feel like doing this week, because that's different. You may not feel like doing those follow-ups, but that is what your business needs to be successful and make more money this week. Very different, right? And then again, lastly, would this problem be different if I already felt blank? For a lot of my clients, blank is enough. So would this problem be different if I already felt enough? Would I get on live stream again next week if I already felt enough? Would I do all these follow-ups if I felt good enough? Would I put out this content if I felt good enough? Would I make more offers if I felt good enough? Right? The answer is usually yes, right? Would this be different if I felt enough? But again, you can substitute any word there. Like I was saying, one of mine is control. Would this problem be different if I felt more in control? Yep. Usually it would be. And that's super helpful to me because it reminds me that I do not have to make decisions in my business to avoid an emotion, right? I do not have to make decisions in my business to avoid an emotion. And I cannot stress that enough. The number one thing I see keeping people stuck from doing the things they know they should do is because they're avoiding a negative emotion, right? So I don't want to do that because it makes me feel uncomfortable when people don't respond. Like I was using this Facebook Live. I was like, this is so weird. I've like never had this few comments ever. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for joining me and thank you for commenting. I was just saying I've never had this few comments, but I was using that as an example because I was saying like, so then I could just say, well, I'm not getting on live stream next week because I want to avoid the uncomfortable emotion of feeling like people don't like me or why am I not getting this feedback or whatever. And then if I go, well, would it be different if I just felt like it was enough as it was? Yes, I would get on live stream next week. So these questions help you cut through the bullshit and actually figure out how do I need to just show up this week to make more money? Instead of all the layers of like my emotions and my fears and my enoughness and my whatever, right? So if you can ask these 3 questions to yourself this week, it will become so clear to you how you can make more money this week. It will become so clear to you how your business needs you to show up this week. If not, you will get trapped in a loop of thinking that you shouldn't follow up because your brain will be very good at convincing you to stay safe. You will get trapped in a loop of thinking that you shouldn't show up on live stream next week because your brain is very good at convincing you to avoid discomfort. Your brain is excellent at keeping you comfortable and keeping you safe and keeping you from avoiding feelings of discomfort. But the truth is the only way to get further than where you are, to make more money than you're already making, to get where you want to go, is to go through the discomfort of that, right? Stephanie said, I literally, oh my God, I fucking love that you used that. Thank you, Stephanie. I literally just opened your email and clicked the link to see if I could catch you live. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate you and I love that you used that. I need to like go change all my content and make sure that's how I'm saying it. All right, what was I saying? Oh, if you don't ask these questions, you will get trapped in that loop all the time of your brain keeping you safe and it won't keep you growing. The only way I've ever grown in my business is to get comfortable being uncomfortable, to push through the discomfort of uncomfortable emotions, and to get to that place where then being on live and not getting as many comments is a funny thing I can talk about on here instead of a thing that I feel like I'm dying about inside, right? That's it. That's the whole thing. So hope these questions are helpful. I really, really, really believe that if you use them this week, you will see massive results. Like I promise you that. And you will continue to see big results because of them. So use them, use them, use them. And I mentioned earlier that I was talking to my sales mastermind about it this morning. So if you are trying to make more sales, trying to get a replicable sales process, and if you know this is some of the shit that's in your way, like you don't know what your business needs, you don't even know what your sales process is, you don't know how to show up as CEO, I'm your gal. I'll drop a link. We're not open for enrollment right now, but we have a wait list and we only open enrollment to the wait list typically. So I will put a link if you want to get on the wait list. And I really want to hear if you use these questions. So send me an email if you do. I want to hear how they're going for you. My email is lacey@alituplife.com, and I will put that as well as the value centered sales link in the comments. So I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. Stephanie, thank you for literally catching me live, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.